Well, how's it going, guys? I know it's been a while. I apologize that I haven't made a video here in a while, but you can take a guess at what's going to be happening here. You guessed some form of chili, right? And it looks, I'm going to be doing some pulled pork chili. I'm going to throw that butt on there. It's only a 6-pound butt, so not going to be taking too long. It is 11:45 at night, and I already got the charcoal out there heating up in the chimney. I'm doing this on the kettle. I don't want to do it on the smoker because, well, frankly, it's really cold outside and it takes a long time and a lot of charcoal to get that smoker and keep it up to temperature with the temperature that's outside right now. So I just wanted to go the easy route, push the easy button on this, making this for a fundraiser, but chili cook-off tomorrow at work. So just a last-minute decision. And why I went with doing pulled pork? Well, I wanted to do a pulled pork for a while, and it was actually cheaper to buy that, but it was on sale, and then the beef was, gosh, this was almost half the price of the beef this butt was. So, look, I'm going to be doing paprika, salt. We got a couple of serranos here. I only had two. I thought I had three. Poblano, some jalapenos, garlic. If you'll notice, there are no little orange peppers on here. Well, that's because the store bakers didn't have any, well, good-looking habaneros. They all were pretty well moldy and about ready to split open because they were crinkling up so bad. So I've got this stuff right here. I am not sure what is in this. This was given to me by a friend of mine, and even just putting a little tiny bit of this stuff in last bowl of chili I had kicked the temperature way up. So I assume there's probably some cayenne peppers in there, and it's just a mixture of all sorts of stuff. I'll have to ask him exactly what it is, but that is going to take the place of habaneros and some salt, oregano, corn. I doing a mixture of kidney and pinto beans. Why? No, just because I feel like it. Onion and tomato sauce, diced tomatoes, some chili powder, black pepper, and chipotle in adobo sauce. So the chipotle peppers and adobo sauce was mostly because, again, it's been difficult to find just straight chipotle peppers, and don't have the time to do them myself right now. So I'm going to be getting it on there here pretty soon. I'm just going to use my standard rub, which is, basically just chili powder, pepper, salt, garlic, onion, a little bit of powdered mustard, paprika, and I think the one that I have left is going to have some actual ground up chipotle peppers that I ground myself. So I'm going to get this thing all dressed up with the rub. It's actually pretty lean here. I don't think I'm going to take any of the fat off there, especially for when I put it in the chili, so that way a lot of fat can cook off into the chili and get that nice and flavorful. Probably not gonna cook it all the way to the 195 preferred temperature. Maybe I'll pull it off at like 180 or something like that, 185. Pull it then. It'll be a little tougher to pull, but pull it then, so that way more fat can cook off into the chili. And plus, it's going to be about another 3 hours that it'd be sitting in the chili, 2 to 3 hours. So, I'll have plenty of time to break down really good. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, get the rub on the chili. If you notice the fisheye effect on the lens, mentioned in one of my last videos that I was going to start using my action camera. I bought it specifically for these videos because it was a lot cheaper than buying a regular video camera, and it does pretty good quality. So, yep, like I said, I'll be back here in a little bit as soon as I get that all done up and get my kettle up temp. Alright, so you can see we got this thing nice and rubbed down. Obviously, I mean, there's not as much on there as if I was just doing a regular pulled pork. I mean, this is just going to go right into a pot of chili. So I'm gonna have lots of other ingredients there for adding flavor, but it'll just be nice to get a little bit of a bark on there and get some of that rub flavor into it too. So kettle's up to temp, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the door here, and we're gonna head outside and throw this thing on the grill. And another thing I love about kettles is that they are really quick to heat up, so that's one of the reasons why I enjoy having it and using it for some of my even basic smoking needs. Sometimes I'll use my kettle. So get this there. Close the door here so don't fill the house up with smoke. All right. So bring this guy right here. Alright, we're going to put them all the way over here. See, nice and small. So small it's all the way over on the other side of the grill there, and plenty of distance away from the charcoal, and even be able to might not have to turn it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm gonna open that up here and grab some mesquite wood. As you don't know, I always smoke with mesquite. I contemplating getting some hickory for this one. Just, again, it's for a chili cook-off, and I don't want to get everything to be the flavor that I want. I want other people like it too, so I'm gonna put that on there and hopefully keep this temp down quite a bit. I got it pretty far close off there. Those markings, that mark right there is wide open, and then obviously that's closed over there. So we're gonna get the temperature under control here with that charcoal I'm using is a combination of stubs and I got some Kingsford all natural lump from Baker's too. It's got mesquite. They use mesquite for that, and so it's gonna be a real heavy mesquite flavor on this one. But looking forward to it. So I'm gonna let that go for a little while. Maybe check in about 3 hours and see maybe if I need to turn it or just leave it go for another 3 hours. I'm probably guessing maybe about 6 hours on this thing. Like I said, it's only a 6-pound butt, and probably going to keep it about 275 just to get it going. And like I said, again, not cooking it all the way, so we'll just see you back in a little while. Alright, so see you got the pork there. It's just pretty much done. Well, done to where I want it to be. I got the pot on here heating up, so we're gonna go ahead and throw these veggies in there with some oil. Chop those up. As far as the number of garlic cloves I used only 3. The recipe I'm going off of, and I'm pretty much the cooking technique and everything is just based loosely off of the Barbecue Pit Boys Cheeseburger chili. Pretty much the same concept, except I'm using pulled pork because I've been wanting to do this for a while. Pour a little bit of oil in there, but the recipe was for 6 cloves of garlic, but these are some pretty massive cloves, so I just went ahead and chopped those up and put them in there. Gonna get all that stuff down in there and stir it up a bit. Let that saute in there a little while. Put the lid back on and let those things go at it for a little while longer, and then come out and gonna start adding spices, and then eventually add the pork to it, and then all the beans and tomato sauce and everything. So come back here in a little bit. All right, these have been going at it for a little bit now. Don't want to give them too long, just to soften them up just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in spices here. One of the spices I forgot to mention that I was putting in here was I didn't have it actually. That's why I forgot to mention it. I had to run to the store, but put some coriander and cumin in there. So a couple of teaspoons of coriander or cumin, sorry, and then a teaspoon of coriander, and yeah. So roughly a heaping quarter cup, I guess you could say, of the chili powder, about a teaspoon, maybe a little over a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of pepper, and a little over a teaspoon of salt and whatnot. Gonna let that sit a little bit while in there, while I go and open up these cans here. So yeah, a little over a teaspoon of salt, and then that was about it. Oh, about a tablespoon of the oregano too. So, and then I've got my my adobo chipotle peppers there chopped up. Gonna dump those in once I get the meat in. So, gonna open up these cans here and then pour them in, and back in a minute. Alright, so I already put in the adobo sauce, or the chipotles and adobo sauce. See, I got the pork in there a little bit. Pretty tough to break apart, as you can imagine, you know, and didn't get it up to that done temperature, but didn't want to on purpose. So now I'm going to go ahead and just start dumping these guys in with the tomatoes, diced tomatoes, sauce here. Kidneys. Look at this corn here. Alright, so gonna mix this up. Gonna go and grab the lid for the cast iron pot here, and now it's just a waiting game. I'm gonna let it cook for a little while, simmer down, and then come out, check on a little more, pull the pork a little more as it cooks down. So we'll check back probably about 45 minutes to an hour and see how things are going. Alright, it's been actually a little over an hour and a half. I actually came out once already and stirred it, but I'm gonna do it one more time here and just check on how things are going. Kind of want to have this thing done within the next another hour, so we'll have to just see how things are going here. Whew. It's going alright. Pork is starting to break down pretty good here, so I'm going to be able to go in and pull it a little more towards the end of the cook here. I'll let it go another it's probably another half hour, 45 minutes, and then I'll come out and start pulling the pork a little bit more, but it's starting to come together. Whoa, hello. So, alright, let that go. Alright, it's a little after 9. Gonna go ahead and take the lid off and just leave the lid off for the rest of the cook, and then, like I said, the pork's pulling apart a bit, but I think for this last 45 minutes that's going to cook, it'll really break down a good deal more, and then I'll be able to get there with my claws and maybe a fork or something like that, and pull it apart, and should be good to go. Yeah, for about, like I said, for about the last 45 minutes or so, this cook, leave it uncovered, and then let the meat continue to break down. Alright, here we are. It's 10 o'clock. I just pulled the pork out to go ahead and pull it because, well, you know, it's pretty difficult to do that in the bowl, in the pot. So I'm going to go ahead and try and pour this in gracefully with one hand and not spill anything. Hey, sweet. Alright, cool. Got just about all of it in there. That's good. One little spot right there. That's alright. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit here for a little bit longer and simmer until gotta get the kids ready and get them dressed, and I'll get this into the car and we're going to head out to work. This is pretty much what the finished product is right here, so I'm going to have to take a taste of it here and try it. I got some stuff right there that I'm going to use. I'm not going to, you know, take a bite out of this right now. I don't need to. But hey, you know what? Actually, I'll just go ahead and take that little bit. Alright, cool. So, yep, started, put the pork on at, what was it, about 11:45, 12 o'clock last night, and now it's 10 o'clock and we're all done. So, it's about how long it took, 10 hours-ish. And I mean, as far as the temperatures go, I mean, the grill fluctuated a lot. This, you know, if you're gonna buy that, if you're thinking about buying that Kingsford mesquite lump briquettes, do a quick little mini review. I just advise against it because they burn really quick. I had mostly Kingsford, mostly those Kingsford briquettes. I had just barely any stubs left. But mostly it's Kingsford briquettes, and filled up this thing last night. And, you know, like I said, put the pork on there at about between 11:45 12 o'clock, and by 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock this morning, almost everything was already burned away. And I had this thing, you saw, I had this thing closed up pretty tight. So, yeah, they burn really quick, and they tend to flash heat. To pulling the lid off every now and then and putting it back on, the temperature would just shoot up to like 500, and then I'd have to taper it off and close it down, and it would take quite a while to get it to cool down. So I don't know, that's just my opinion, but maybe you'll have different experiences if you get them. So I'm gonna head on in and yep, we'll catch you on the next cook.